took me in when I was a little boy, and then that relationship also continued to grow to a different level when my grandfather was beginning to lose his sight until he was completely blind. I saw the transformation until he was totally blind, and he, I, I was kind of thrust into that role of no longer I just being, you know, raised by them or like being there with them. I was, given now the responsibility of, kind of guiding him around, taking him to places where he needed to, where if he needs to go visit his compatriots, or go to village meetings and island meetings or church or those, then I would be the one to lead him to. So my schedule sort of revolved around him when I was growing up. But before that point, he, kind of sense where he taught me, everything that I knew about fishing, for example, gathering coconut crab, taro farming, and even stories and storytellings and stuff like that. So so that's why I felt very much that I was close to him, and during events and catastrophic events like the storm, when literally our lives were sort of dependent on each other, and like in a situation where it's a matter of life and death, and so it couldn't be any more forced uh crucible, sort of like the crucible of forged relationship. uh it had to happen, and we had to rely on each other, and that's kind of like the thing that, thinking back on it, I really felt the sense of greater bond with him when I was growing up. And other I mean, other kids have, they're what we call, our sense of deep responsibility, because we all have common chores, like as kids go and fetch water, kids go and feed the pigs, kids go and gather firewoods, Kid, kids go, in support of a larger task. But also, we have our obligations to our elders. You know, Mine just happened to be, my blind grandfather. I remember other elderly men on that island when we were growing up who were also crippled and bed, house ridden, and there's a certain level of the responsibility to take care of his needs. A certain part of it also fell on some of my friends who were, at my age at that time, around my age group. So we have, in a way, we kind of have our shared, responsibilities as young kids, but at the same time, we also have those kind of like deep uh, obligations, and that's kind of like how kids build characters that way. I mean, our characters are built that way. That your diligence, your sense of responsibility. People notice. People point that out, like, oh, that kid is very diligent in helping. You know, Even like for me, it meant that I would be living with them on the other end of the island, away from the other kids, and that sort of kind of like it doesn't afford me the occasional like few minutes here and there where I would run away to run over to my friend's house. It just means that I'm staying at the end of the island with my grandparents, um, pretty much all the time until I went to school, and after school thereon.